Hey everybody, I'm Patrick and this is Rocky Mountain Style. If this is your first time here, welcome. I do reviews, unboxings, and comparisons on boots, shoes, jackets, occasionally a piece of gear or a watch. So if that's the kind of content you like, please consider subscribing. We are, as of the time of this recording, 12 subscribers away from 1,000. So if you're not subscribed and you help me get to that 1,000, I'd be very appreciative of that. In addition, I'll be doing a giveaway at 1,000. We're going to give away a pair of Thursday boots, so about a $200 value, and we're going to be giving away a $100 Huckberry gift card. So I will give instructions on how to enter for those once we hit 1,000. But rest assured, you will need to be subscribed to be eligible, so you might as well take care of that now so we can hit that 1,000 and just get all this over with, right? Cool. All right, so what are we talking about today? Mock toe boots. You can see 3 behind me on the mantle here. These were my only 3 mock toe boots I own. Hope to own more in the future because they have quickly become my favorite style of boot. And in chronological order, from first to last, I picked up the Thursday Diplomat, the Red Wing Classic mock toe, the 1907, which is the copper rough and tough leather. So usually you hear folks going by the 3 or 4 digit ID for Red Wing boots. So that's a 1907. And then the Parkhurst Niagara boot, which is my newest pickup, which I've had about 4 weeks or so, and I'm absolutely in love with them. So why do I like mock toes? Well, to be frank, I think they're the most versatile boot. There's a lot of different styles of mock toe, and depending on what kind of sole you have or what the sidewall construction is like, they can go all the way from a work style boot, that you might use in a factory or something like that, kind of similar to the Red Wing, or something that's a little more dressy, like the Thursday, which has, smaller toe box, shorter sidewall, a little bit sleeker overall, which you can, put on with some chinos or some dark jeans to give sort of a smart casual look. And then all the way over to the Parkhurst, which without the wedge sole and with the more subtle mock toe stitching, can sort of bridge the gap between the styling of a mock toe and the styling of a plain toe boot, which are slightly easier to dress up, of course. Now, my Parkhursts are in waxy Commander leather, which isn't a super dressy leather anyways, so that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the versatility is great. If you want to put on some Red Wings with some Dickies, you can do that, or, all the way up to slacks, with some of these other styles of mock toes. So they're really versatile. I've also found them to be extremely comfortable. I think a lot of that has to do with the wedge soles that come on a lot of mock toes. It's, you can find wedge soles on a plain toe boot, but they're fairly rare. But I'd say more than a majority of the mock toe boots do have wedge soles. That's kind of why I like to pick up the Parkhursts to give one without a wedge sole a try. So there you have it. But the comfort's very high. You've got more room in the toe box, so you can wear thicker socks if it's colder. As the day goes on, if you're walking a lot and your feet start to swell a little bit, as mine tend to do if I'm walking all day, that kind of a thing, there's more room for your foot to expand. So they stay comfortable longer in my experience. Also, I just think they look dang cool with blue jeans. So I wear, as I'm wearing now, I wear blue jeans most days when it's not super hot outside. And I think the Red Wings especially, and ones with the taller, sort of chunkier build, look really cool with jeans. So, but they're fun to play with. They're fun to figure out what looks best, and they're fun to just try new things with. So yeah, mock toes, right? So stick around. After the cut here, we are going to get a little more in depth on each one. And yeah, thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about some mock toes. The mock toe gets its name from the indigenous Americans who used this style of construction for their shoes. Generally speaking, though, it's something where leather goes underneath the foot, wraps around, and then another piece of leather is sewn on the top, giving this classic U-shaped thread pattern. However, almost no boots are made like that these days. Rancourt, a brand out of Lewiston, Maine, still makes them that way, but none of the 3 here have that type of a construction. We're going to start with my Thursday Diplomat boot. This was the first mock toe I owned. This was also the first wedge sole boot I owned. This was also the first black leather boot I owned, so lots of firsts here. I've had these a little over a year. They're very comfortable. I don't wear them as much as I thought I would just because of the black color. I do like how it looks, but I generally tend to coordinate my outfits more towards earth tones and so the black just doesn't seem to look all that great. But this boot, like many Thursday boots generally speaking, is going to be one that I consider to be a value play. At 199 bucks, it really can't be beat. It's the best boot under $200 in this category, in my opinion. Obviously, I haven't tried all of them, but it's a fantastic boot. It's lightweight, it's comfortable, it's really everything you want. So here's a picture of them, a little bit of the wear that you can see, not a ton. Still holding up extremely well. One thing I actually didn't like about these, I thought the leather was going to be a little more matte. That's actually quite shiny. So, and then here's an Instagram pic that I like, showing just sort of how I could coordinate these kinds of boots and how I like to wear them. My Red Wing boots, as you can see here, I'm very happy about them. I bought them, I was on a date with my wife. We were going to a new restaurant that I happened to know was right next to a Red Wing shoe store, the one in Colorado Springs. And I had my eye on these for a while. This copper rough and tough leather is one of my favorites as far as look goes. Absolutely love it. I wish I could have all my types of boots in this. So at some point I will be buying an Iron Ranger in this leather. Well, most likely I'll be buying an Iron Ranger in this leather, but really like it. Red Wing, I'm not sure if they really invented this style of boot, but if they didn't, they were one of the first, and they definitely popularized this mock toe boot with a wedge sole, basically for the American workforce in the 1950s. The wedge sole gave, less tripping hazard in a factory setting, or perhaps out on the farm, something like that. Also, something I like about these boots, they look cool with different laces, as you can see there. And these I've worn a lot more than my Thursdays before. You can see some of the wear coming in, some of the character coming in. But yeah, really huge fan of these, and they go with all sorts of different outfits. As you can see here, a couple left and right. These are featured on my Instagram page at some point over the last several months, but I like to wear them as much as I can, use them all over the place. And last but not least, my Parkhurst Niagara boots. And as of the time of this video, these unfortunately are no longer listed on the website. I'm a huge fan of these boots. They're by far the most subtle of all the mock toe boots that I have. It's more like an Alden Indy, where the stitch is definitely decorative only. It's not two pieces of leather. There's not a big bulge. But yeah, Parkhurst has great stuff. The Niagara, my first Parkhurst, I'm glad I picked this as my first. No wedge sole. That's also a reason why I wanted to try these out. I wanted a mock toe without a wedge sole. And as I mentioned in the intro, I feel like that gives them a lot of versatility to dress with different types of things. You could go a little more dressy. And yeah, huge fan of these. If you guys get a chance to pick up a Parkhurst. Here you can see the wear on the waxy Commander CF Stead leather. As soon as you start touching it and nicking it on anything, it starts to turn like this, which I think looks really cool. And then one final picture from my Instagram page. Yeah, cool boot. Okay, that's it. I really appreciate you watching the video today. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down in the comments below and I'll get to them. And if you're so inclined, tell me what my next mock toe should be. Maybe tell me what your favorite mock toe is. And thanks a lot. Have a great day, everybody.